The Summer I Turned Pretty's messiness is still no match for this chaotic teen comedy series. The Summer I Turned Pretty has officially concluded, with only an upcoming movie left to finish telling Belly Conklin's Lola Tung story. Like the rest of the series, the show's final season was a true roller coaster ride, as Belly found herself unable to keep burying her feelings for Conrad Fisher, Christopher Briney, in spite of her engagement to Jeremiah Fisher, Gavin Casalegno. The series ended as it should, with Belly taking some time to find herself in Paris, and then Belly and Conrad ultimately ending up together. Still, though, it was a wild journey to get to that point, and Belly's failed wedding in particular caused quite a bit of fallout. Aside from the show's wonderful setting of Cousins Beach, The Summer I Turned Pretty is best known for its messy storylines, most of all its central love triangle between Belly and the Fisher brothers. Conrad may be Belly's great love, but her intense ties to Jeremiah and her own insecurities had her torn between the brothers throughout the course of the series. While it's true that Belly, her romantic pursuits, and her occasionally questionable choices were messy, the drama of The Summer I Turned Pretty is still no match for the chaos of Netflix's hilarious teen comedy series, Never Have I Ever. Never Have I Ever's Devi Vishwakumar is a complex and flawed heroine. Never Have I Ever's main plot is driven specifically by the actions of its main character, Devi Vishwakumar Maitreyi Ramakrishnan. The series starts off at the beginning of Devi's sophomore year of high school. The previous year, she dealt with the sudden death of her father, Senthil Ramamurthy, and her own subsequent and inexplicable loss of the use of her legs. Now, Devi is determined to turn her life around and become popular, and that starts with her quest to get a boyfriend. Devi's goals don't go as planned, so she asks her longtime crush, Paxton Hall Yoshida, Darren Barnett, to sleep with her, and he actually says yes. Instead, though, the two end up developing a friendship that quickly changes her social life. In the meantime, Devi tries to balance her complicated home life, her academic pursuits, and her close friendships with the sudden new developments in her social status and her dating life. Like Belly, Devi deals with grief, heartbreak, and coming of age in spite of a number of obstacles. Unlike other typical teenage girl protagonists, though, Devi is unabashedly angry and chaotic. Devi has a hard time controlling her temper, which leads to a number of outbursts from her at the worst possible moments, like at school and at parties. She also gets into trouble at school for things like spreading rumors and getting into fights, particularly when she acts on her anger without thinking things through first. Devi tends to get so focused on what she wants, and will do anything to get those things, which often cause conflict with the people to whom she's closest. Because of this, Devi is an incredibly flawed and often frustrating main character who is given the opportunity to be messy and selfish, but who still gets some really impactful character development as the series delves into her grief and insecurities. To top it all off, Devi's inner thoughts are narrated by John McEnroe, who really plays up her dramatized perception of her life while also allowing viewers to understand Devi's perspective. Never Have I Ever's central love triangle is even more chaotic than The Summer I Turned Pretty's. Belly's love triangle between Conrad and Jeremiah is messy because they're brothers, and because she flip-flops between the two of them quite a bit throughout the series. Aside from those factors, though, her relationships with Conrad and Jeremiah are both sincere, and not particularly chaotic. When Belly chooses each brother at various times, she really believes that she is all in with that relationship, and she tries her best to make it work. Devi's central love triangle, on the other hand, is pretty dramatic in comparison. Early on in Never Have I Ever, Devi starts to develop a new friendship with Paxton, while trying to get him to finally see her as a romantic option. Meanwhile, Devi's longtime arch-nemesis, Ben Gross Jaron Lewison, continues to play a significant role in her life. As Devi starts to get more involved in the social scene at her high school, she butts heads with Ben more than ever, but the two of them start to reconsider their dynamic. Belly's love triangle with the Fisher brothers is seen as messy because each time she has to choose between the two of them, she chooses a different one. The first time that Devi has to choose between Paxton and Ben, though, she chooses both of them. Unprepared to deal with two romantic options for the first time, Devi decides to date both Paxton and Ben behind each other's backs, even though she knows that there's no way it could possibly end well. Because Devi is such an impulsive and often selfish main character, she brings a certain chaos to her entire life, from her friendships to her romantic relationships. This develops into a really compelling journey for Devi though, including with her romances, as she slowly matures and has multiple serious and mature romantic relationships. It is specifically the messiness of Never Have I Ever that makes the show so compelling, and that ultimately makes Devi's eventual character development so fulfilling. Eamon Holmes left in tears after emotional farewell for TV veteran. GB News presenter Eamon Holmes has paid a touching tribute to the veteran broadcaster John Stapleton after attending his funeral. Eamon Holmes has shared a touching tribute to the late TV presenter John Stapleton following his funeral on Friday, October 3. The veteran broadcaster passed away peacefully in a hospital at the age of 79 on September 21, his agent revealed. The renowned broadcaster was the face of factual programming for a generation, featuring widely on several shows such as the BBC's Watchdog and GMTV's NewsHour. His agent, Jackie Gill, said his Parkinson's disease was complicated by pneumonia and that his son Nick and daughter-in-law Liz had been constantly at his side. Weeks later, GB News presenter Eamon attended the journalist's funeral, where he bid a final farewell to the infamous reporter. Sharing a picture of the presenter's order of service, where the presenter was seen looking proud alongside his late wife, Lynn Woods, who died back in 2020 at the age of 72. The Watchdog presenter and campaigning journalist passed away peacefully after having suffered a massive stroke last night and a subsequent bleed on the brain. Eamon revealed that the celebration of life service was in honor of both John and his wife due to the global pandemic at the time of her death. He captioned the post, "Just got back from John's funeral service." It was also a celebration of Lynn's life, who died during COVID restrictions. A loving, respectful send-off, a few tears, a lot of laughs, and a lot of friends. Admiration for their son Nick and the family dog, who was there too. Bye John, it was a heck of a life mate prayer emoji. It didn't take long before his loyal fanbase expressed their sympathies and shared their fond memories of the presenter in the comments. One user wrote, "Such a wonderful send-off. God bless you, John prayer emoji, heart emoji." Another agreed, "He was a great man and presenter, as are you, Eamon. May he rest in peace crying emoji." A third chimed in with, "I loved his talk show in the mornings in the 80s. Eamon isn't the only familiar face to share a touching tribute for the presenter online. After the news of his death hit the headlines last month, James Charlotte Hawkins shared a sweet message in his memory alongside a series of snaps of the pair together. She wrote, "So very sad to hear John Stapleton, R. Stapes, has died. I loved working with him on GMB, he was a legend and such a brilliant broadcaster. A genuinely lovely man. It was good to have a catch-up with him when he came in a few months ago to talk about his Parkinson's diagnosis. He'll be much missed."